Hello, good morning and welcome Bexleyheath Academy. I hope you are well. We're now very much into July and heading towards the end of our first week. This week we've been talking about discovering what is possible. Lots of this week people have been going back to historical characters. I've gone slightly different. I've gone for a modern day person who is discovering what is possible. My background is engineering, product design, and therefore this person is a bit of a wow moment for me as it happens anyway. The name of the person I'm going to talk about is Elon Musk. Now, you may not know the name, but I'm guaranteed you know his products and what he is doing. He is South African born and educated, although did move to Canada at a young age to continue his college-based education. His net worth currently is $42.6 billion. Just let that number settle in for a minute. $42.6 billion of a net worth. He is an engineer, an industrial designer, and more importantly, an entrepreneur. And for me, he's somebody that absolutely embodies to discover what is possible. He does not let barriers get in his way. After making his initial money through the sale of PayPal, he was the original owner and entrepreneur attached to PayPal. He sold it, made millions of pounds. He wanted to discover what was possible. His early target was to put a greenhouse on Mars. You listen to him, you think, gosh, that man is mental. But that was his target. So he went to where else? He went to NASA. So he said, look, NASA, I need a rocket that is going to be big enough to get me to Mars so I can put a greenhouse up there and start growing plants in a Martian environment. NASA smiled and said, yes, Mr. Elon Musk, that will be about $8 million for a rocket. He stormed out of the meeting, allegedly slamming the door on the way out. He thought this is ridiculous. So not to be put aside, to discover what is possible, he built one himself. So he created SpaceX, which is with a long-term goal now leading the Earth become a space-faring civilization. SpaceX is now the world's largest producer of rocket engines. Now, NASA are actually coming back to him and saying, SpaceX, can we have rockets, please, so we can actually start doing our space program? So a complete swap around. You may have heard of Starlink. Now, these are satellites that SpaceX are putting up into space to provide satellite-based internet connection for the entire world. You may know them because you can actually see them from Earth. You have to pick the right moment, look in the right point in the sky, but you can see a triangular-based star constellation. And it's actually a collection of satellites, and they're his. He put over 60 satellites up from Earth, and boy, can that man discover what is possible. If you didn't think that was enough, if you think that was it as it was, he's the current CEO, Chief Executive Officer of a minor company called Tesla Cars. You may well have heard of them. He was the longest serving CEO of any automotive company. The world's biggest selling electric car. He had a mission. He's going to say, I'm going to design and build a very, very expensive car, which he did, his very first one, which was a Roadster. He says the profits from that, I'm going to build a cheaper car. And the profits from that, I'm going to build a cheaper car again, until he could build an affordable car for the mass population, which is the Model 3, which is now currently on sale across the world. Now, realizing very quickly there's one key element needed. So he discovered what was possible with batteries. These electric cars are obviously going to need batteries to be able to make them work. So he designed and built the largest lithium ion factory construction area in the world, which is known as Gigafactory. Now, he has cornered the market. He's the only company that can produce these batteries to such scale. So all the car manufacturers are now coming to him to buy batteries from him. And if that wasn't enough, if he hadn't discovered what was possible enough, he also has Solar City, the world's largest solar panel manufacturers, to be able to provide cheap, affordable solar energy for the majority of the world. He has something called Hyperloop. His project is to build tunnels with low pressure systems inside them to provide high-speed transport through these tunnels. Remove the amount of air, you can increase the amount of speed because it's a reduction in drag. Ask your science teacher. He's also got OpenAI. The AI bit is a non-for-profit artificial intelligence company. It's open source. It means anyone can get hold of it and start using AI appropriately. Not only that, to discover what is possible, he owns a company called Nutralink, which is the integration of AI and the human brain. Now, that worries me slightly. I'm not quite sure where you stand on that, but that one concerns me. Not only that, to discover what was possible, he has a wittily named company called The Boring Company. Not boring as in yawn, boring as in tunneling. So he has a company where he wanted to build a tunnel. He was literally stuck in a traffic jam in Los Angeles and said, right, I'm going to build a tunnel and drive underneath everyone else. So do you know what he did? He did exactly that. He set up a company, he built that, and he's now got cars that are traveling underground in tunnels, all based upon electric power. Not only that, this man will not stop at anything. He has discovered what is possible. He has never received the word no and went with it. He has always looked for what is possible, and he has always been willing to discover what is possible. For that reason alone, I'm happy to talk about him this morning. Do you know who else is discovering what is possible today? Our Key Stage 3 maths students. They are working in the national challenge, the UK Maths Challenge, which is a national competition. And of course, we offer them the very best of luck today. And we are really looking forward to the range of certificates we know are going to come back from these guys. So all the best out there, Key Stage 3 maths students. I'm going to conclude with a slightly